if we look at the Chargers schedule, not all that difficult. You open up with the Raiders at home, then you have Carolina on the road, Steelers on the road, Chiefs week 4. That one's going to be kind of tough at home against Patrick Mahomes. How do you see this season shaking out in terms of total wins?
Yeah, I'm gonna go about 10. I'm gonna go the over definitely. Again, we would have to go through game by game what I actually have, but I'm gonna go over because Jim Harbaugh is just a winner. I know, I know he talked about calming down expectations, but and I went to Penn State, right? So Michigan beat our butts every year on the dot, right? But still, I think Jim Harbaugh is just a tremendous coach because everywhere he goes, he wins, right? Like his first year was San Francisco. San Francisco at the time was considered a terrible team, but considered a terrible roster. He goes 13-3, right? His first year at Michigan was 10-3 and a Citrus Bowl win. Like he goes to places and wins right away and implements what you need to win and makes the team tough. It makes them gritty. It makes them all the things they need to do to be a winning franchise. Again, with the San Francisco 49ers, he went to a Super Bowl. He went to a conference I'm messing up. In NFC Championship game, I'm thinking NBA thoughts when I say conference finals. He went to the championship game. So everything he does is winning. So I can't see that being different here, especially when you have Justin Herbert, especially when you have Khalil Mack and some of that talent on that defense. I think the defense will be good. I think they'll be gritty. They still got to figure some things out offensively, obviously, because they have new guys in position, and this whole committee thing makes it hard to bet on, right? You're just like, okay, if everything's by committee and this is how you're playing, I don't exactly know how to bet your futures in regards to total yards, but you got to sort of figure it out. But again, I think he's going to get you to 10 wins at the very least because that's just the coach that he is.
Yeah, you talk about Harbaugh being a winner. His record in the NFL, 49, 22-1. In college football altogether, 133-57. And at Michigan alone, he was 89-25. You also, Sean, mentioned that when he took over for the 49ers, his first year in San Francisco, they were coming off a 6-10 season, went on to a 13-3 win season the next year. So definitely can turn things around quickly. I mean, over 8.5 wins right now is minus 155 at various places. So heavily juiced to the over. Justin Herbert has won 9 games in 2 of his 4 seasons in the NFL. And you have a lot of upgrades on the coaching staff here. Not only Jim Harbaugh, but you bring in Greg Roman, offensive coordinator. Roman's had success in the past. And a lot of the Chargers' issues over the past couple seasons, like they just kind of shoot themselves in the foot. A lot of it is self-induced or self-destruction these last couple of seasons. And Fernando Ramirez talked about it in fourth quarter. You likely won't have those same mistakes happening with Jim Harbaugh at the helm. So I don't love laying minus 155 for an over, and I'm not sure I would necessarily want to take like an alt line of 9.5, 10 wins, even though you and Fernando just said you think it's going to be a 10-win season. But I do think that they go over the 8.5, and just seeing as they have a fairly easy schedule. Like, I mean, they have the Saints, the Titans, the Falcons, the Broncos, obviously twice being in the division. So they should have plenty of success. It's just a lot of the, not a lot, but some of the new key players are younger. Like, how quickly are those players, the Lad McConkey's, going to be able to come along and really make an impact? Quentin Johnston last year was really not great. He had a terrible rookie season. Is he going to be better and bounce back? Those are the kind of the question marks I have. And if the answer to all those is positive, then I think that they can go over these 8.5 wins. Justin Herbert's passing yard total for this upcoming season, 3,600 and a hook. You mentioned just very briefly you like the over on that. I like the over too. I think that's too low just from what we've seen from him in the past. But why is that an overplay for you on his passing yards?
I mean, just his talent. I mean, again, I know Jim Harbaugh is a guy who loves to run the ball, but imagine what he'll be able to get if they're able to run the ball and you're doing a whole lot of play action. Justin Herbert, for most of his career, is going to have over that number, right? Like, I know he had some injuries last year, wasn't able to get to 4,000 yards, but the year before that, he had 4,700 yards. The year before that, he had 5,000 yards. In his rookie year, he had 4,300 yards. So it's just, you're betting on the odds. The odds is if he's healthy, and again, last year, he had 3,100, a little over 3,100 yards because he played 13 games. If he played 4 more games, clearly he's going to have over 4,000 again. So that's just what he does, okay? So, and he's going to do it at about 67 completion percentage. He's going to do it while throwing for 30 touchdowns and possibly about 10 interceptions. That's just what his numbers have been, whether the team has been good, whether the team has been not so good. So, 3,600 to me is low. Again, I know they're banking on Jim Harbaugh running the ball and running the ball and running the ball. But even if you do that, this is a passing league. And you're going to have to throw the ball up a little bit. So even with that dynamic, I think he gets over that by a good amount.
I agree with you. I think he goes way over this as well. I mean, you mentioned the 13 games he played last year and already exceeded this total. You also, Sean, mentioned the fact that Jim Harbaugh loves tight end sets, right? Probably going to be throwing to the tight ends a little bit this season. And the running backs, we talked about it in the last segment. J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards have not been healthy for a full season in how long? So are they really going to be able to rely on that running back room to have heavy impact on every game throughout the entire season? What are they going to look like towards the end of the year when they're completely run down? Also, I mean, it's good to hear reports have said this, things that I've read online, and also Fernando Ramirez coming on, who covers the Chargers, and talking about the chemistry between Justin Herbert and Ladd McConkey already. Like, that seems to be like a match made in heaven this early into the offseason. I mean, he was McConkey, I can't say that right, was their first round draft pick. They traded up for him. So yeah, great to hear that he and Justin Herbert already have that chemistry. You'd also imagine that Joshua Palmer maybe have bigger impact on the offense this season. He was playing behind a couple pretty good wide receivers last year. And then Quentin Johnston, down year last year. Again, you'd think he'd have a better second season in the NFL, plus a very good head coach in Jim Harbaugh. In terms of offensive coordinator and Greg Roman coming over, like, he's been great when he's dealt with mobile quarterbacks and, run heavy quarterbacks. That's not exactly Justin Herbert, but I still think he'll translate fine in terms of building this offense to be something that, other teams are scared of.
But again, Greg Roman was there when they had Alex Smith, right? And Alex Smith is, and Alex Smith is, let's not get it twisted, he had athleticism. He just wasn't considered a mobile quarterback. Same thing with Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert can move, but he's not a mobile quarterback. So when he got Alex Smith had a career year. Alex Smith had incredible numbers, Pro Bowl level numbers, without making the Pro Bowl. So it's the same with Justin Herbert. Greg Roman knows how to switch it up. And again, they're on the same page. That's all they do is work together, Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh, when they've been in the NFL together. So them being on the same page is going to help Justin Herbert have a really good season. So again, they're used to it. Again, if you made Alex Smith into that, you should be able to make Justin Herbert. I know that was a decade ago, and the league has changed a little bit and made it more passing. But again, Harbaugh has continued to coach. He's coached in college, and Roman has been an offensive coordinator in several places since then. So they know what to expect this year. They know what they're going to do. And again, it's going to be a good year for them.
Jim Harbaugh, the favorite, tied for the favorite with Matt Eberflus to be coach of the year this season. If everything goes the way we're projecting it, 10 plus wins, Chargers make the playoffs. Like, Harbaugh for coach of the year looks pretty good.
I mean, it's he'll do what D'Amico Ryans did, in my opinion, last year. Like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, what are your thoughts? Because I just feel like with Jim Harbaugh, he's set up in a situation out of all the young quarterbacks to have the best. Again, you look at Matt LaFleur. I mean, they made the playoffs last year, right? So in order for him or even D'Amico Ryans to win this award, their team would have to jump to like 14 wins. Right? It's normally the guy who goes from like five wins to 10, 11 wins that wins this thing, not the guy who goes from 10 wins to 13, 14 wins. So that's why I'm not even including some of these guys in the conversation when you come to D'Amico Ryans and Matt LaFleur and even a Robert Saleh. You go, well, I mean, and again, that's far odds at 18-1. It's like, you got the Jets, you got Aaron Rodgers. Like, ain't nobody going to give you that much credit.
Yeah, I think the for coach of the year, well, first of all, 4 of the last 7 winners have been first-year coaches with a new team. So right there, that's Jim Harbaugh. He crossed Matt Eberflus off. This is his, third year with the Bears? Yeah, he's not a first-year coach with that team. Raheem Morris, yes, with the Falcons. So that could be one. But yeah, Matt LaFleur, even D'Amico Ryans. Jonathan Gannon, that's another one. I know he's in his second year with the Cardinals, but that price 16-1, I think that's worth a look. But even Shane Steichen, and you said Robert Saleh, like everyone on the board here that we're looking at over at BetMGM, those top 10, there's only 3 based on the trends from previous seasons that could potentially be in the mix. And so at 10-1, actually, you're not even getting them at 9-1, 10-1 for Harbaugh. I think that's actually worth a look. Fernando, let's talk win total. Chargers win total this season sitting around 8.5, but heavily juiced to the over. Warren Sharp, he has the Chargers with the second easiest schedule this season. Can they get over this 8.5 mark? Is that a realistic expectation?
So anytime I see anytime I see a win total, I kind of look at the head coach and I'm like, I'll give it a couple boosts. And Jim Harbaugh, I mean, you have to give it at least 2 more wins. I have them so far at 10-7, just because I think Jim Harbaugh adds a boost to there. This team's going to be completely different. And I know everybody talks about the fourth quarter blown leads, but Khalil Mack told us right before minicamp let out, he's like, I think he can fix what has been wrong with this organization and what's been wrong with us, where we've blown those fourth quarter leads. And the thing about Jim Harbaugh is, and Hayden Hurst told us about this back when they had signed him, he said, a Harbaugh's plan is by the fourth quarter to gas you. You're going to be gassed, and we're going to be in great shape. We're going to be in great physical conditioning, and you're going to be like, crap, we still have another quarter to go against these guys, and that's when we're going to run the ball down your throat. That's when we're going to knock you out. So it seems like the whole team is all for it, and they know exactly what Jim Harbaugh is going to expect. So I definitely think that it'll be higher, just because I don't expect a Jim Harbaugh team to not have a winning record. So I would say that, and especially with Justin Herbert at quarterback, I really think that they're going to be. I would take the over in that as well.